Hi, this video will talk about the exterior angle theorem of a triangle. The exterior angle theorem says that an exterior angle of a triangle, which just means an outside one, is equal to the sum of two remote interior angles. So if you want to pause this so that you have time to write it down, and I'll stop talking if you pause it so you can write and not have to try to listen at the same time. All right, exterior means outside, and if you look at the picture in front of us and I said, hey, which angle is on the outside of the triangle, hopefully you are gravitating towards the one that is outside right here. All right, so that's our exterior angle. This angle here that I just put blue around is equal to the sum. The sum means to add. So I need to add up two remote interior angles. Interior means inside. So I got to find two angles inside and add them up. And they use the word remote. They just want to say, hey, find the two angles inside that are furthest away from our exterior angle. So this here is an interior. It's also inside, but it's right next to it. It's not remote, so we're not going to use that one. Our two remotes are these, okay? So our outside angle, which is our question mark, is equal to the sum, which means we're going to be adding two things. We're adding up one remote angle, which we'll say is 45, with the other remote angle, which is 85. All right, so if you grab a calculator or you do this in your head, when you add 45 and 85, you get 130 degrees. So our outside angle is equal to 45 plus 85. All right, we're going to do another problem like this one that is strictly numbers, and then we're going to do two more problems after it that we're kicking up a notch. It's going to bring in x's, which means that we're going to have to know how to solve algebra equations. When we get to those two, I will go a little bit in depth on how to solve those, but I'm not going to kind of go back to the basics. I have some videos that you're more than welcome to find on here on how to solve some algebraic equations. So if you want help with that part, go find those videos. All right, let's move on. So this next equation, this next triangle, again, our formula has kind of disappeared. So what we're going to do is I am just going to write down this, that our outside angle has to equal, and if you remember, it's the sum. I can't dot i's for some reason, and it's kind of driving me crazy. So our outside angle is equal to an inside angle plus the other insides. And we just need to keep in mind that we are looking for the remote ones, the inside angles that are not close to the outside one. So this time our outside is 115. So instead of rewriting the word outside, I'm going to put in what our angle is. I'm copying the equal sign. And now for our inside angle, I'm going to use, I'll just use 80 first. Doesn't matter what order you put these in. And instead of using a question mark, I'm going to put in an X up there. So this inside I'm calling X. All right, we need to solve that, which just means we need to get the X by itself. In order to get the X by itself, we need to kick out the 80. So we're going to subtract 80 from both sides. Remember, what we do from one side, we do to the other. So if we do 115 and we subtract 80, we get 35. The 80s cancel out on the right-hand side of the equation, and we're left with X. All right, so we're just using this property to help us figure out what are some of the angle measures that might be missing in a triangle or outside of a triangle. Okay, next one. This picture looks a little bit busier. Take a deep breath if this is the kind of thing that freaks you out. Just relax for a second. Our task is to solve for X. We need to show our work. All right, and again, if you have, let's say you have a worksheet of these that your teacher gave to you, what I would do is right at the top of this paper, of whatever paper you're doing, I would just jot this down, that outside angle equals inside plus inside. And hopefully you can dot your I's. I have OCD and it's really getting to me. All right, and now we're just going to look at our picture and we're going to find each of these things. In the word equation that I wrote, I have the word outside first. So in my picture, there's my outside. So I'm going to write that here. The next word that I come up with is inside, and I'm going to add that to the other inside. And like I said a minute ago, it doesn't matter which one goes first. So I'm going to put 52, add it to 5x plus 22. All right, drawing my wall. This is how I solve my equations. On the right-hand side of the equation, I do have some like terms. I have a 52, and that's going to be added. We're just going to combine these because they're on the same side of the equation. So 52 plus 22 is 74. Bring down that plus 5x because I haven't touched it yet. And I'm just copying the left-hand side over just as it is. All right. So I have x's on both sides of the equation. When I teach it, it's not politically correct, but I say, hey, let's pick on the little guy. We have a 5x and we have a 12x. The 5x is littler, it's smaller, so I'm going to make that one move. So to bring the 5x to the left-hand side, I need to subtract it to undo that addition. What I do to one side, I do to the other side. 12 minus 5 gives me 7. And now the x's are all on one side. I can just focus on getting everything away from all the x's now. I'm going to get rid of that 10. Bring the 10 across the wall. So I need to undo the subtraction, which means I'm going to add it. I'm running out of space, so I'm going to bring it over here. So my equation now is 7x equals 74 plus 10 is 84. Our last step is to get rid of the 7, and the 7 is multiplying right now, so to undo the multiplication, we divide. The 7s will cancel out, and 84 divided by 7 is 12. So that completed our task. We solved for x, we showed our work. And again, one of my things when I teach is definitely to start with words. If you have, it's a little bit tedious to write down for sure in the beginning, but until you really know what you're doing, the words can really help guide the way that you're going to solve the problem. Okay, last problem that we're going to do together. Again, hopefully you have already written down at the top of your paper or your eyeballs can see it somewhere around where you're working. I'm just going to write it again at the top because it's going to help me with where to start. If I know that this is the property that I'm working on, then I can put the words down and then I can fill them in. So when I look at this triangle, my outside, I don't want to write the word outside. I want to go find the outside angle. Boom, it's right here. It's 81. I'm copying my equal sign. All right, again, I don't want to write the word inside, so I'm going to write 5x plus 5x. Sorry, my inside angle is 5x. That's one of them, plus 3. That whole expression represents one whole inside angle. It's right here. And then I have to add to it the other inside angle. It's ugly, right? It has two terms for that one angle, but that's okay. All right, we're going to use our algebra skills to help us solve. All right, what I do is I build the wall. The left-hand side of the equation, there's nothing I can do with it at this point. I'm going to just copy it. 81 equals. And if I look at the right-hand side, I have one term here with a 5x. And there is a like term that goes with it, which is way over here. It's adding 4x. So 5x plus 4x will give us 9x. All right, if I then look for other like terms, I see a positive 3, which is a plane number, and a positive 6, which is a plane number. I can add those together. 3 plus 6 gives me 9. Whoops. All right, so now we need to solve it. We're going to get rid of that red 9 first. It's being added, so we undo that by subtracting. 81 minus 9 is 72. The 9s over here cancel out, but I still have that 9x. My last step is to get rid of that final 9, which is multiplying with the x. Since I'm bringing it across the equation, I need to undo the multiplication, so I am dividing both sides by 9. The 9s cancel out on the left, leaving me with an x. Sorry, on the right-hand side. And then on the right, I'm getting my lefts and rights mixed up, but 72 divided by 9 is just going to give us 8. All right, so I started the problem by using words. Associating the words with it can sometimes help you get started if you're really confused. Write the words out, then go searching in the picture for each of the things that you wrote down, and then see if you can solve it. All right, I hope this helped. Thank you.